All right, welcome to The Explainer. We've all seen fireflies blinking on a warm summer night, right? It's magical. But what if I told you that that little glow is actually one of nature's most powerful, most widespread tools, especially in the absolute darkest corners of our planet?
Yeah, I'm talking about places like the pitch black of the deep ocean. Down there, creatures like this anglerfish, well, they don't have a choice. They have to create their own light. It's a fundamental tool for survival in one of the most extreme environments you can possibly imagine.
So, how and why does nature do this? How does it create its own light? It really does seem more like science fiction than actual science, doesn't it? Well, let's unravel that mystery together.
Okay, so first up, let's tackle the how. It all boils down to a pretty brilliant but surprisingly simple chemical recipe.
The name bioluminescence really gives the game away. You've got bio for life and lumen for light. So we're talking about living light. This isn't some kind of reflection or a trick of the eye. Nope. This is life itself, creating its own glow right from within.
And the basic recipe is, well, it's surprisingly elegant. You've got two main ingredients. First, there's a molecule called Luciferin. That's the stuff that's going to glow. Then, you add oxygen and an enzyme called Luciferase. Think of the Luciferase as the match that starts the fire. It's the catalyst that speeds everything up. When they all mix, boom, you get light.
But what's really amazing is that this is what scientists call cold light. And there's a good reason for that. You know how a regular light bulb gets super hot? That's wasted energy. This process, though, it produces almost zero heat. Just about every last bit of energy goes directly into making light. That makes it unbelievably efficient.
And just to put that efficiency into perspective, take a look at our own technology. Your classic old-school incandescent bulb, it wastes a whopping 95% of its energy as heat. Only 5% becomes light. Even a modern fancy LED is only about 50-50. But a firefly is an absolute master. It converts over 95% of its energy directly into that beautiful cold glow. We can't even come close to that.
Okay, so we've got the how down. It's a super efficient chemical reaction. But that leads to the next big question. Why? Why did so many different creatures go to the trouble of evolving this ability? Well, as it turns out, bioluminescence is like the ultimate evolutionary survival kit.
I mean, whether you need to find dinner, avoid being dinner, or even find a date, living light has a solution. Let's dive into some of the most amazing examples.
For pure, deadly offense, it is really hard to beat the anglerfish. Imagine you're in the midnight zone, far, far below where any sunlight can reach. It's totally dark. And then you see this single glowing lure just dangling there. It's not just a light, it's a trap. It's actually powered by living bacteria, and it's designed to do one thing: draw curious, unsuspecting prey right into those waiting jaws.
Now for defense, things can get really creative. Take this deep-sea panda-lid shrimp. If it gets threatened, it can literally, vomit a bright cloud of glowing gunk. It's a flashbang. It startles and blinds the predator just long enough for the shrimp to make a quick getaway.
And then there's an even more cunning defense. Scientists have a great name for it: the burglar alarm. When this jellyfish, the Atala, gets attacked, it doesn't bother trying to run. Instead, it screams for help, with light. It sets off this brilliant, swirling pinwheel of blue light, basically shouting, "Hey, something's attacking me over here." The hope is that an even bigger predator sees the alarm and comes to eat its attacker. Pretty clever, right?
And some animals use light for the ultimate deception. This is a technique called counter-illumination. Check out this eye flash squid. Its entire underside is covered in these tiny light-producing organs. What it does is turn them on to perfectly match the faint sunlight filtering down from the surface. And the result? It completely erases its own shadow. For any predator looking up from the depths, the squid is just gone. It's literally a cloak of invisibility made out of light. So you can see this is an incredibly useful ability. And it's not some one-off evolutionary fluke. Far from it. This is a winning strategy. So much so that scientists estimate that bioluminescence has evolved completely independently, from scratch, at least 94 separate times. 94! That makes this one of the absolute best examples of something called convergent evolution. That's when totally different, unrelated species
all arrive at the exact same brilliant solution, just because they're facing the same problem. In this case, the problem is trying to survive in the dark.
Now, when nature comes up with something this effective, this elegant, it's only a matter of time before we humans try to figure out how to use it too. And that's exactly what's happened. We're now taking this ancient chemistry from the deep ocean and bringing it into the modern lab.
Believe it or not, that same basic luciferin-luciferase reaction we talked about is now a standard tool in medicine and research. Scientists use it for all sorts of things: tracking specific genes, testing thousands of new drugs at once, detecting tiny amounts of pollutants in our ecosystems, and even, get this, making cancer cells glow so they can be tracked and studied in real time. So it's really no surprise that researchers are so incredibly excited about the potential here. As one scientific review put it, this has sparked lots of exciting multidisciplinary science across various disciplines. It's bridging fields from chemistry all the way to biomedicine. And the dream? Well, the dream gets even bigger. There's some really blue sky research happening right now focused on engineering light-emitting plants. I mean, just imagine it. One day, our streets might not be lit by electric lamps, but by the gentle, super efficient glow of living, breathing trees. So whether we're talking about the crushing depths of the ocean or just a quiet forest on a summer night, bioluminescence is, without a doubt, one of nature's most beautiful and truly inspiring phenomena. But there's a pretty serious problem. What if these lights are starting to go out? Even as we're learning from it and being inspired by it, this natural wonder is facing some very serious threats from us.
It's a tough irony. The very things that make our own world so bright are putting these ancient natural lights in grave danger.
Things like habitat loss, pesticide use, and a really big one, light pollution. All of these are causing firefly populations to plummet all over the world. See, the constant glow from our cities and homes can completely overwhelm their delicate flashing signals, which they need to find a mate. It's gotten so bad that the IUCN, the official body for this stuff, has already flagged 18 types of fireflies in North America alone as being threatened with extinction.
And that really leaves us with a final, crucial question. We're at this incredible moment in history where we're on the verge of truly mastering this living light for our own technology. But at the exact same time, we're at risk of wiping out the very creatures that inspired us in the first place. So as we learn to create this living light, can we also learn to protect it? Which path are we going to choose?